we gonna get caught with this same dumbass reverse. They just ran this reverse. We got caught and it like now we finna get caught with it again. We knew that they were gonna run it on third down. They ran it on third down last time. They had the same guy set up in the same position. It was the same scenario, and now we're still gonna get fooled by the same play. And they make it very beneficial for us to be fooled by the same play. That's why when you turn on your mainstream networks, when you turn on Fox, you got them repeating and almost like they're just swallowing Trump. Like they're scared to say anything negative. All they're doing is pushing this because they all work for the same people, in my opinion. They all work for the same people. Who you work with, who you work for is based on who you get money from, right? Let me read the rest of this. Israel has done this to countless countries using the United States as their vanguard. I agree, bro. Or sis. I don't know who, bro or sis. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Queez just said something, I think. Hold on. Create the problem and then create a problem that may not even be there.
Oh, my God.
So let's get into it.
We bombed Iran. Guys, we really don't know what's going on. And I'll refer to my last video where I said, shut all this shit off. My point being, did you even make your fucking bed today? Did you go to the gym this weekend? Have you sweated recently? Like, what are you doing for you? Get your own house in order before you give all your energy everywhere else around the world. Your shit is probably not as nice as it needs to be. Focus on you. It's really crazy to me how quickly people get sucked in this shit. All I've been seeing the last 24 hours is people hyped up to go to war with Iran now, right? Iran tweeted out, everyone will feel this. And all of a sudden in my feed, dudes are ready to go to war again. Oh, Iran doesn't want this smoke. Don't they know the US military? This is why we have tax dollars. Look at our Air Force. Guys, do you not realize, look at every podcast with every veteran from Iraq and Afghanistan. You ask any of them, including the podcast I've done, should we have been there or did it make sense to go there? Fuck no. It was all corporate interests. But look how quickly you guys are getting sucked into the same playbook. We saw this after 9/11. Now I'm surprised we haven't seen something happen on US soil to provoke everyone in the US to want to jump into war with Iran. Stop letting them play your emotions. Like, own your day. It's Sunday morning. The amount of messages I had about Iran being bombed and what are we gonna do? And I have friends in the Middle East that are close to this that are concerned. But even them, it's like, we know that there's theater going on. Do you think world leaders are really tweeting out their war plans? Do you think CoinSauce, who I follow for crypto news on IG, would be putting up stealth bombers headed toward the Gulf region? Do you think that's strategically smart? Do you think our government is literally giving play-by-play updates so that it can get blasted on Twitter? This is all your mind control. You don't even know if any of this is physically happening. You don't even know if what you're seeing is real or not. Think about that. We bombed Iran.
Yo, man, so many gems in that. And I shared a lot of that perspective. And shout out to we're gonna get Chris on the show. We finna start doing some stuff. That's my bro. That's my bro down there in Miami. And when he put this up, I thought it was the perfect response to a lot of this. Now let me also tap in with you know, some of the things that stood out to that I was, you know, that Chris said that stood out to me is like, we don't even know what's going on. They're just showing us videos of certain stuff. You got people all amped up. They put out a tweet saying everyone will feel this. Now it's like, it seems like all of these powers that be, think about it look at it from a political standpoint in America. Remember when we saw that Donald Trump and Barack Obama were laughing and joking, but then, you know, when they're with each other, but then Barack's calling Trump a threat to democracy and all this other stuff. Trump talks his stuff about Barack, but then in person, they're just chilling. And it seems like it's like, you know, somebody needs to take the phone of whoever is running the tweets for Iran. Somebody needs to take Donald Trump's phone, perhaps, and we need to put pressure on them like a lot of people are, the Tucker Carlsons, the Dave Smith, the Candace Owens, the Matt Gaetz. There's a lot of people that are doing it. Chris Broby. We need to put pressure on them to figure out ways to solve these problems that don't have us ending up dead. The regular civilians, we do realize that the people that are pressing the button and making the decisions on whether or not we go to war or not, we do realize that they have a certain level of protection. And not only if, and let's say that they don't have a certain level of protection, because some people may say, well, they can easily be targeted because they're the ones that are front line in a lot of this stuff. That may be the case. However, they're also benefiting from it financially, in my opinion. They are benefiting. There's a lot of money that happens when war happens. It just is what it is. And let me make sure I'm catching up, because Ransom Network Engineer had a good comment that I wanted to address. This to me was never about supporting Iran. I just done enough research to understand pattern recognition. I'm with you. We've seen this. We've seen it. They ran this play before. We gonna get caught with this same dumbass reverse. They just ran this reverse. We got caught in it. Like, now we finna get caught with it again. We knew that they were gonna run it on third down. They ran it on third down last time. They had the same guy set up in the same position. It was the same scenario, and now we're still gonna get fooled by the same play. And they make it very beneficial for us to be fooled by the same play. That's why when you turn on your mainstream networks, when you turn on Fox, you got them repeating and almost like they're just swallowing Trump. Like they're scared to say anything negative. All they're doing is pushing this because they all work for the same people, in my opinion. They all work for the same people. Who you work with, who you work for is based on who you get money from, right? Let me read the rest of this. Israel has done this to countless countries using the United States as their vanguard. I agree, bro. Or sis. I don't know who, bro or sis. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Queez just said something, I think. Hold on. Create the problem and then create a problem that may not even be there. First and foremost, want to give a huge shout out to everybody that continues to tap in with us, like and subscribe and join our community. If you haven't already, please make sure that you do. We look forward to engaging in some dope combo with you that can help us all elevate. So like, subscribe, and maybe even share the video if you're feeling real generous. On that note, we'll let you get back to the video. See you soon. Influence that may not even be their influence the people to support, and boom, you can come out and control. That's a fact. Like, why are we allowing ourselves to get fooled by this? Why are we gonna fake convince ourselves that any part of this is okay? And people start bringing up certain stuff. Well, Iran, you should see what they do to their people. And yo, that's not our issue. We're in America. We complain about what America does to us, right? So now we're justifying why we should go to war with a group because their government, we don't like the way that they govern their people. Because America, we're the supreme being when it comes to morality, right? So we don't like the way that they govern their people, but then we support regimes who do what Israel just did to Palestine. We're so powerful, but we can't figure out a resolution without dropping a bomb. It's almost like, yo, when you're really that powerful, then the threat is so big that people will negotiate just because that they're scared of you, like your involvement. It's getting to the point now where I think these people, they just like, yo, whatever. If America does something, it is what it is. I don't know. There was something else that was on my mind that I wanted to speak on. But let me ask y'all this, because I had a conversation with a bro of mine, and it happened over the weekend, right after Trump spoke. And we were talking about like whether or not it's justified or okay, or what their feelings were on us attacking Iran, even though JD Vance and Trump and Pete Hegseth, they'll come out here and say, no, we're not at war with Iran, right? Rubio, we're not at war with Iran. We're just at war with Iran's nuclear facilities. That's like them saying on 9/11, no, we're not at war with America. We're just at war with the Twin Towers and the people that work around that area. Like, what? Like, it doesn't work that way. Just because that's how you want to project something, hopefully America's not dumb enough to, oh yeah, we're not at war with our... Bro, what? If somebody just destroyed our defenses, I'm pretty sure we would feel like we're at war with them, and that they put us in a compromising position, a very dangerous position, a vulnerable position. So therefore they would be striking us. No, we're not. Oh, no, that's just our nuclears. That has nothing to do with us. Like, are we that stupid to really buy into this stuff? So the conversation I was having with a buddy of mine is he was saying that he was more justifying, or let me actually bring the text. I'm not going to read the exact text, but I just want to make sure that when I say that he was justifying it, that was correct. Hold on one second. Let's see. Hold on. I got to damn. I didn't realize the convo was this long. I did not realize the convo was this long. Okay. He started off his sentence by saying, I think we are protecting our only real ally in the Middle East. I'm more pro-Israel. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, damn. And I gotta be honest, and Big Bro's probably listening right now, so I'm gonna be honest with him. This is what I meant when I said I see people that I hold in high regards, and I have a lot of respect for them. But when I hear them rationalizing this war over there, it makes me look at them a little bit differently. It does. And this is my big bro. It makes me look at you differently. I'm just being totally honest with you. You may say I'm living in a fantasy world. Nah. See, and this is when traditionally where the race would come into play, because he's white. So traditionally, this is where in the conversation I'd start sitting back saying like, damn, he just another white dude who wants to align himself with the only white group in that region, has no problem killing all those brown people, all the destruction that Israel does to all those brown people in that region. And I see myself, I'm more of a victim because I know what happened to me in America as a black person. So therefore I'm gonna align myself with that. This is where that normally would occur. But I pushed that to the side. Just being totally, I pushed that to the side. And I was just thinking about it from a moral standpoint. And I realized that our morals overall are fucked up. See, we justify violence. We think that, and see, this is the problem. I no longer believe that violence, either I'm somewhere between, I don't think that violence can be justified, or it doesn't matter if it's justified. I'm finding myself landing either on one of those or somewhere between those on the spectrum of one from the one point to the other point. Now, what do I mean by that? Damn, violence can't be justified. And the example that he brought up is, he was saying that how, when I go to sleep, I don't leave my door unlocked. And I sat here and I said, well, yeah, because I never know how somebody else is gonna act. But I also don't rob other people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to other apartments and doing certain things. So I'm not exhibiting that violent behavior that I'm saying that I'm against. So that may have been a little bit, I'm not sure if I fully connected the dots, and I don't want to go back to the chat, but it was a little bit all over the place. But just from this standpoint, we started talking about if somebody breaks into the house. If somebody comes into the house, and let me be very clear, like growing up, I always grew up in a house where I'm very confident that if somebody broke into my house growing up, that my dad would have a mindset of, I'm shooting first and then we'll figure it out later. I'm not going to allow, this is not a time for diplomacy. Somebody breaks into my house. I'm assuming that I need to kill this threat and neutralize it, so therefore nobody in my family would be harmed. Now, I would assume, I'm just going to make an assumption, that the majority of people that are hearing this would be okay with that. The majority of people hearing this would say that this is justified. This is why I say that I'm landing on the point where I think that no violence is justified, or that it doesn't matter if it's justified. And hear me out on this. If somebody broke into my house, you never know what you would do, right? You may get nervous, you may freeze, you never know. But I would like to think that, and the fact that I said that I would like to think this, I would hope that it just never happens. I would hope that if they came in, they would hear the gun being cocked and that they would just leave. I would hope these things would happen. But if they didn't, I would do the same thing that I just described, that I believe that I know that my dad would have done. That's one. I'll be totally honest with me. I'm saying you never know. I know that my dad would have done that. But see, this is the issue. Justified or not, it would be wrong. Justified or not, it would be wrong. So what do we mean justified? We mean justice. So we're referring to the law, right? We may get off. You may be in Florida, stand your ground. Even if you're not in Florida, somebody coming to your house, you can, I mean, as long as they're not running in the opposite direction, I believe. I don't know the exact law. Somebody can feel free to tap in and give me them. But regardless, it would be wrong. Now, what do I mean it would be wrong? How can something be justified, but then at the same time be wrong? Well, it can be justified based on, I wanted to save my family, and I felt that this was what needed to be done in order to do so. But it's wrong when you look at the total sum of everything that happened. I had to kill somebody. I've never killed somebody. But I know when I go on YouTube and I look at these war veterans, people that have committed crimes, whether it's in the streets, whether it's, I mean, a lot of people would say the military, whatever it is, people that have killed people, that seems to haunt them. And when you're a super spiritual person, it would seem to me that would haunt you, have nightmares. Now, you still may just allow it to let it go because you're still appreciating the fact that I did something heroic. I saved my family. But you got to deal with that. And when I say it's wrong, if we look at it like it's wrong, let's just take a step back. Let's say that you don't think that it's wrong. Let's just for 5 minutes act as if it is wrong. We still did it. But now if we acknowledge it as wrong, even if we still think that it was justified, if we see that it's wrong, we'll look at it from a point of view where hopefully we'll say, this is a terrible thing. This is a terrible thing. I'm upset that I had to do this, or I felt that I had to do this. I'm upset that it's a different perspective rather than what some people may do in that situation and feel like they're patting themselves on the back because they protected their family. They did what's right. Yo, a loss was just like somebody was just killed. A life was just taken. It allows you to dig a little deeper into the situation. Like, yo, why would somebody break into my crib? They were that desperate and dumb. Like they just, see, it allows you to look at it from a practical standpoint of trying to find a solution, of looking at the whole, the entirety. Now, I may be losing y'all, so let me get back to the exact point. I may be losing myself. Sometimes I do that. It's Dak. Just want to thank you for checking out our video and visiting the OG Network. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure that you give us a like. And if you're looking to join a community of inspired individuals striving for purposeful abundance, subscribe. And if you're feeling real generous, share the video with some friends and family. All right, I'll see y'all soon. Ew.